How is a paintball made? This little gel capsule needs to be strong enough to be shot out of a paintball gun at 200 miles an hour, yet brittle enough to break on the person it's hitting. So today, I'm going to show you that. We came all the way out here to Montreal, Canada at the Core Outdoor Paint Facility. This is the largest paint manufacturer in the world. 100 employees, it's running 24/7, and it's over 200,000 square feet. It's truly an insane operation. I'm going to show you all of it, starting from beginning all the way to end, and it starts all in the raw material room.
Yeah, this is basically the big kitchen. So here in formulation, they make a whack load of gelatin, they make a whack load of fill in large form, and then we splice it off into what we need for the machines. So as you're walking through this room, main raw materials are in the racking here. Over here is the gel reactors and the fill reactors. This is where most of the work is done. Smaller tanks are used for the gelatin, the big tanks are used for the fill. And basically it's a simple process like making, I said, a cake, right? You put the ingredients in, you're mixing them, you're heating them up to certain temperatures. You have SOPs that everybody has to follow, a recipe when they get done. They check their metrics, and then they'll bring in their gel totes underneath the reactor, drop their gel, and if it's fill, it gets pumped into other tanks. And then when we're really ready to put it on a machine, we drop it into the cage containers and we color it the respective color. There's 4 or 5 main materials in the gelatin. Same thing on the fill.
This is a good time, I guess, to ask, is it safe for the environment if somebody ends up eating it? Is it safe?
Yeah, so paintballs are all non-toxic, so a human can eat them. They won't taste good. Yeah. But overall, it's not bad for the environment. It biodegrades. And there's a lot of countries in Europe where they're much stricter about environmental rules. They allow paintball in Europe. And when you look at our band of colors, because we're the largest manufacturer, we do so much customization. We have different shades of green, yellow, orange, pink. This is where they prepare all the dyes. What we do is we prepare the dyes into small buckets because you only need so many grams of dyes to dye either the gel or the fill. Julius prepares all those buckets ahead of time, and then as they want to get the batches ready to go down to the machines, they'll dye them right before they go on the machines, bring them over to the machines. These are super fine powders, so we keep them in a room where there's a lot of filtration so that we don't end up with pink, yellow, and purple going out to the world or all over the place. Here is what we call the feed room. This is where all the components for the paintballs drop down to the machines. And basically every machine, you'll see 2 totes, the left side, the right side of the ball, and then the fill right here pumps down to the machines. Alex makes sure that the fill's always topped off. The gels, he's doing measurements on the gel so we understand how long the machine has left to run. And obviously he makes sure that it's flowing to the machine. So think of this plant as a nutritional pharmaceutical plant. That's what we do here. We're a soft gel encapsulation plant. Paintballs are made via soft gel encapsulation.
All right, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. This process so far has been a crazy one. If y'all are enjoying it as much as I am, make sure to leave a like on the video so you can see more videos like this. It's an easy and free way to support these videos. And if you wanna go even further, you can get another deposit shirt. But let's keep going. Will, tell the people. It's been pretty cool, huh?
It's been pretty cool. I didn't expect it to be, first of all, it's 200,000 square feet, way bigger than we thought. Multi-levels, it's really cool. It's really state of the art.
There's so many people working here too. I thought it was gonna be like 5 people. There's like, there's so many people.
Okay, so now we're in the encapsulation room, right, which is where all the magic happens. We're running 14 of our 16 machines that are in the room. All the machines in the room are the same. All the paintballs for the entire world that we sell to are made in this factory. So to kind of show you the manufacturing process, so the hole in the ceiling is from upstairs, the feed room. So the blue hoses are the gelatin coming down in liquid form. The gelatin comes down over here, drops in as a liquid. The liquid goes to what's called a spreader box. The spreader box puts it onto an air-cooled and water-cooled drum. That steel drum is slowly rotating. And so what that does is the cooling of the liquid turns it into a ribbon, right? The ribbon is your shell. So the ribbon rolls through a bunch of lubrication rollers, which is why sometimes in a bag, you might see clear little droplets. That's the lubrication oil. How do we get the lubrication oil off the paintballs? We use rags in the drying process. It's not a perfect science, right? So sometimes you have a little bit too much oil. That's why you might see some of that. These are the fill hoses. You'll notice they're flexing, right? So as the die rolls are rotating, which the die rolls are like cookie cutters, one side, left side, right side. They come like this. The ribbon goes in between them and the wedge. At the point of the wedge, you create the first seam, what we call the lead seam, right at the beginning of the ball. As it drops through, the fill is injected, which blows the shell, the left and the right, into the pocket. which is what creates your round left and right side. At the same time, your seam is being formed with the heat on the wedge. And when you get out to the end, you got a nice, very malleable paintball. You have a good seal when you can do this to the paintball and it doesn't explode in your hand, like soft gumballs. As that goes through here, drops into the drying. This is the drying tumbler that does about 50% of the drying. So you saw how gooey the ball was there. You come over here, you've got a ball that's got robustness to it, right? It's still soft. You can still press it in a little bit, but it's got some structure, right? Right here happens to be World Cup paint. The stars on one side, pink on the other.
And speaking of World Cup, it's right around the corner, and if you wanted to shoot this exact paint, you can. GI's 5-star paint is not only the most winning paint in the world, but 86% of the teams at podium at last year's World Cup shot this paint. So Opie and the guys are doing everything in their power to make sure that this paint is the best possible paint for you.
So I have one of my best operators runs the 2 machines that I deem are good for the tournament paint, and that does change throughout the year. Generally, it's the same machines, but you know, if I realize before we go put tournament paint on that this one doesn't seem to have the kind of accuracy I'm looking for, I'll put it on a different machine that does.
But the even better part about all this is that if your team is part of the GI's Imperial program, you get a discount on this paint that the NX sells, as well as discounts on gear and custom jerseys. And the best part about all of it is that if you win, they'll pay for all the paint that you shot. And as someone who's had a $2,700 paint tab covered, it's really nice. But I hear you, everyone is skeptical and it's fair. So at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you just how good this paint actually shoots. So don't wait too long. If you wanna shoot the best paint in the world, GI's 5-star at World Cup, go ahead and email paint@coreoutdoor.com. It'll be linked down below for anyone that is interested. And Opie is doing more than just what you've seen so far to make sure that this paint is perfect.
So the way they check the roundness, we have a ball bar here. We check the seam to make sure the seam is good. The pole's pretty good. You have a minimum. The ball will never be perfectly round. Why? It's a very tight tolerance to get it to where you want it to be. If you go overly round, you've now got an egg, you got a big problem. And so we strive, in a sense, for perfection. But everybody has to realize, we're not cutting metal here, right? We're making an organic product. We're making oranges, right? No orange is perfectly round. You gotta think of it the same way, right? In that temperatures, the different materials, batch to batch, things change a little bit. So that's why, you know, when you go play a tournament, we have some batches that shoot perfectly straight and some batches that are just a little bit less. And we try to make sure that we always send all the perfect ones and then we deal with the not so perfect ones. Just to give you guys an idea of like the scope of our customization, we're pretty much the only one that fully customized in this business. And what I mean by customization, I mean fill formula. We make different fill formulas for different reasons. We make clear paint for the military to shoot on their bases. On the shell side, we make shells for the winter, for the fall, for the spring, and for the summer. The other side of customization is the print. You guys have seen some prints that we make. We make hundreds of prints, right? We have customers that, like we did with DBS, where we put a logo on one side and maybe a design on the other. So we really are the only ones that do all of this full customization. Once we're done here, it goes on to trays. Trays go down to the rack. Rack goes through the tunnel process. This is our QC tunnel. Basically the way the process works, takes a certain amount of time to dry the product depending on the formula, which could be anywhere. Some tournament paint dries in an hour or 2 hours. Some field paint or frostbite dries as long as 24 to 30. The tunnel will hold about 11 to 12 racks. They'll do a visual inspection on the top, the middle, and the bottom. They'll pull a ball from each one. They'll check the hardness to make sure that it's consistently drying throughout. And then when it gets to a certain number, they'll pull the rack, they put it against the wall. An idea like this is, say, a rack sheet. It's got all the important information on the sheet itself. The unique batch number, which is the key, right? If anybody ever has a problem with paint, they go and they look at this number, which is on the label. And if you have a problem with the product, you go back to maybe the store you bought it from, you give them that batch number. They then pass that batch number to us. And we can go back and look and see that, hey, batch number 689416, when we were making it around hour number 4, we had some problems. We might not be able to solve the problem for the customer, but we can learn from the problem and try not to repeat it. So you'll see stickers on here that say premium. What this means is this rack is good. Then you'll run into racks, which we don't have a lot of. This rack's got a blue sticker. So basically they've identified there's some problems on this rack, and they'll go and they'll do what's called, they'll pick the balls, and they'll take out the balls that aren't good, leaving the balls that are good. If it becomes too much, we deem it what we call rainbow or seconds. There are foreign markets that will take that paint, clean that paint and use it. They buy it at a drastically reduced price. They go through pay the labor to clean it, and they use it.
It smells like honey butter croissants in here.
What? Honey butter croissants.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so let's go through here. So in here is our QC department. The general measurement to make sure that a paintball is ready to pull, it's dry. It's what we call a hardness number. We use these things here, which are called hardness testers. And basically all that you're doing is you're putting a paintball onto this machine. The machine is pressing on the poles for a certain amount of newtons of pressure. We have a certain number based on our experience in many years and the formulation of what we're making. And also, for instance, we might pull our tournament paint at a different hardness than we would pull our field paint, because we know the tournament paint's gonna change over time because of how it's made. So this really allows us to make sure that the product is dry, but it's also not too brittle to go on the machines, and it's really ready for the customer, right? So now we're really entering the packaging department. This tends to be, we'll call it our busiest department. We run basically 2 different lines, so there's 4 counting machines. We run one fully automated line right here. That tends to run we'll call it our more robust paint. So the way it works is the balls flow into here. We have an operator, just all she does is dump the trays into the bins here. Each set of what we call slats here carries 500 paintballs. Paintballs just drop in as they climb up the conveyor, and then they go into over here. This is a rotary system. Right here you've got 500 paintballs here ready to drop into a bag, and then you have 500 paintballs on the top on the set. But basically the balls will drop into the bag. It brings it over here. It goes through a simple sealer, puts the bag on the conveyor. The conveyor goes down to the robot. The boxes come out of a case erector. When those bags get there, it'll pick them up. It'll bring the wings closed. It'll feed the box. Box goes through here, gets taped, labeled, sends it around to the other robot. Go into here. This is our 50 cal line. So we generally pack 50 cal on this machine. It's more of a manual automatic process. The machine's counting the product, but we have humans building the box, labeling the box, loading the machine, and then putting the bags into the box. So we're kind of walking from the maintenance department into our shipping department. This business is now at a point where we have an outside warehouse for most of our finished goods. We outgrew this space many, many years ago. So basically what we do is we manufacture, let's say 3 to 4 truckloads a day. Those truckloads of paint go over to the other warehouse. That's where we prepare them to go out to the world. You'll see a variety of paint here. The most of the paint that's here is either being prepped to go over to the other warehouse, or we do service the Quebec market out of the factory. We'll prepare their order for them. They'll come to the back door, they'll pick it up, and away they go.
And before we get to the end of this whole entire process of shooting this paint that we've seen made today, after seeing all of this, I had some burning questions that I had to ask.
From start to finish, how long does it take from you receiving the products to making one singular paintball? How long does that process actually take?
So I would say I've made paint here for customers that need it as little as 2 days. From the moment that the process started, dried, in a box, on a skid, going on a truck.
What makes a paintball better or worse, like a performance standpoint?
So from the fill perspective, fill or the shell, it's just different percentages of different raw materials. There's certain materials that make things more brittle. So we just increase or decrease the percentages based on testing we've done over the years, based on our understanding of the different climates that we operate in. We also have a climate chamber in our building that allows us to put something at 90% humidity for a certain number of hours or days. We pull that out, we drop test it, we shoot it, we understand how that operates.
Can you actually freeze these paintballs?
So the answer is yes, paintballs will freeze. Number one, it's a huge safety issue. Shooting basically rock hard projectiles, like shooting marbles at people, is not safe.
For these machines, how many cases a minute does one of those machines push out?
Okay, a better way of looking at it is probably how many cases per day. You can make anywhere from 300 to 350 cases a day per machine.
Yeah. There's 60 to 100,000 paintballs in a day.
It's actually 720,000 paintballs in a day per machine.
My math's way off.
To give you an idea.
So you've touched on it a little bit while we've been walking through, but what really makes GI's paint different than all the other paintballs that you could buy?
I think it really starts with our level of experience of the formulation adjustments and evolution that we've had over the many years. This factory we're in today was built in 1999. We have people that operate our machines, work in our formulation department, who've been with us for over 25 years. We have an in-house chemist that we are constantly working on future developments. We're working on different ways to mechanically or formulaically try to make those balls as consistently round as possible. And then our full customization. Like I said, we make things for every climate in the world. We sell paint to Dubai, Australia, Latin America, all through the United States. And then the customization for the actual customer base. You know, I want a blood red paintball. So we go and we make sure that that red is blood red.
Yeah. What was really unique to me was, like you said, like you shoot the paint.
I literally now shoot every single batch that we manufacture. And I can also say that by shooting the paint, I can adjust how we manufacture. Yeah. I can tell our people, hey, we got to work on this machine, we got to work on that machine.
Just to end it off on a good note, what's kept you here for so long and like doing this? Why make paintballs, and why, you know, be here and work for GI?
I mean, it goes back to what brought me to Canada was paintball. I started playing paintball when I was 15 years old. And I just I chased the dream that everybody's chasing today. Back then, we kind of started the dream of playing professional paintball. I lived on couches in Houston, couches in Baltimore, playing with different professional teams to try to get to my little dream. I got there, I achieved it. And then when I got to a point where I got to get into real life, Richmond Attire offered me the opportunity to come up here. So it's either come up here or go back home and try to go through school. So I chose to come up here, and paintball's what I love. Getting to make the paintballs is pretty cool. And I get to, I get to help the industry grow and help the industry continue to evolve. So I love what I do. Right?
So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Opie.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and World Cup's right around the corner. So if you're looking to pick up some paintballs, make sure to hit up GI and get on the list. I'll have it linked right down below so that you can choose the best paint in the world at the biggest tournament in the world.
Incredible. So it's not only super brittle, but shoots really, really straight.